which have sparked widespread reactions across the country and I think even beyond. He further defended his character, citing his upbringing and respect for women. He also highlighted his past record as a gender-friendly leader, recalling how he also received awards during his tenure as Akwa Ibom governor as gender-friendly governor. Akpabio urged the public and the media not to rush into conclusions, insisting that the matter should be left for legal proceedings.
I'm aware that the matters in court, however, I would like to state clearly that at no time did I ever attempt any sexual harassment on the said distinguished Senator Akpoti Uduaghan or any other woman. I and my siblings were raised very well by my late single mother. She died in year 2000 through very difficult times, and I therefore have the highest regards for women. Even at demise, I still cry till today. I also wish to state that I also have 4 beautiful daughters. So at no time will I ever harass any woman, and I've never done so.
Recall that Senator Akpoti Uduaghan insisted that her sexual harassment petition against Akpabio had not been filed before any court and urged the Senate President to forward it to the Ethics and Privileges Committee for proper investigation.
This matter is not before the court. The matter before the court is on the defamation and cyberbullying statements made by your special assistant on new media, Mr. Patrick Conform, who addressed my decent outfits as transparent, thereby depicting that I walk sedulously and naked to the chambers. That is the nature of the petition of the case in court. This petition, sir, has never been filed. The petition that accuses you of making sexual harassment moves, abusing your office and making malicious obstructions to my legislative functions has not been tendered anywhere before, no courts in Nigeria. So, sir, I would appreciate if you kindly accept my petition and forward same to the Ethics and Privileges Committee so it could be treated.
Meanwhile, Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan failed to show up as the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions on Wednesday commenced its probe into her alleged refusal to comply with Senate rules. After waiting for an hour, the committee chairman, Senator Neda Imaswen, expressed disappointment over her absence.
Well, talking about the Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions, that committee has actually dismissed Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan's sexual harassment and abuse of office petition against the person of the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, declaring it dead on arrival. The committee on Wednesday cited procedural violations and legal constraints. During the probe session, the chairman of the committee, Senator Neda Imaswen, cited Order 40 of the Senate Standing Orders, explaining that Akpoti Uduaghan signed the petition herself rather than having it endorsed by another individual, thereby rendering it procedurally invalid. Additionally, he noted that the matters raised in the petition were already before the court, making them sub judice and beyond the Senate's jurisdiction. Let's take a listen.
As a matter of fact, the first thing we ask when the petition comes before us is whether or not that petition is before any law court. And if the answer is yes, we do not touch such petitions.
Well, despite the absence of Senator Akpoti Uduaghan, Senator Imaswen reiterated his hope that the Kogi senator would present herself before the committee before the conclusion of proceedings. The chairman and his colleagues were promptly notified. The chairman said his colleague, that's Natasha Akpoti, was promptly notified of the meeting.
Oh, I look at major television networks and it's Natasha Akpoti and Senator Akpabio. Check out YouTube, same story. Major, social media platforms, conversations at, places where we raise elbow and sip from, flat or deep spoons. It's been Natasha Akpoti and Uduaghan, and matters are really arising. And talking about matters arising before we go to what happened yesterday. Yes, a group known as, I think, Patriotic Front from the defense of Natasha, they have also risen from Kogi Central. and they marched on Abuja yesterday with mighty placards. Of course, the inscriptions, the biggest I would recall was Senator Akpabio resigned. Anyway, that is as far as that is going. I'm beginning to see a situation where we'll begin to see placards also, in support of Akpabio.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that another group from Akwa Ibom marched to Abuja yesterday.
Well, I see. I don't see that, or maybe I don't see. But I think Akpabio is getting a whole lot of support from his male colleagues in the Senate. I recall Senator Nwebonyi, who appeared on a television station, maybe self-sponsored. Why are you pointing at him on TV?
He's on TV again.
And on another channel.
That's right.
He was on a different channel.
That's right.
Some 2 days ago. Senator Nwebonyi, as a matter of fact, has been speaking as if the allegations were against him personally. In doing his job also in the Senate, Senator Imaswe also has been speaking as if without any sense of diplomacy, as if this case, is like a real war and someone has to defend his gender. Unfortunately, we have fewer females in the House, and this is not where you talk about concurrence from the House of Reps. Maybe the women in the House of Reps would have been speaking. And I think also that, gender-friendly NGOs are also waiting in the wings to see the turn of events before they begin to act and talk and all that. But I think this is messy, by the way. Now, the reactions one is getting is like, the whole thing happened in the Red Chamber. The first accusation did not say it happened in the Red Chamber. There was whatever it was in Ikotekpene, and from there, according to the allegation, they now moved to Uyo. And it was in the course of that, while holding her hand and moving her around, taking a faster step, ahead of the husband who was on his phone, that, he spoke to her. There have been counter accusations about why didn't you say it sings? But while saying that as well, I recall that the woman said, while they were lying down at night, I can say it because she said it and it's in the public glare. The husband rolled his hand around him, or is it roll or wrap?
Wrapped his hand.
Abby? Believe you. Wrapped his hand around her and said, darling, what was he telling you? To the point that, according to her, the husband said, look, you wouldn't need to travel abroad alone again, and all that and all that. That will not permit us. If not, it's something that can, make a box office sale on Nollywood at least. If not, Senate would. Senate would. But beyond the jokes, and I think it's not a joke, by the way, this is messy. The reaction from the Senate president, one would have thought that it should have come pretty early. The wife jumped on it quite early, talking all manner of things that the husband was responsible. Fine and good. A good wife must defend her husband. My worry is the way and manner the Senate president's male colleagues are coming at Natasha. Nwebonyi, for instance, I don't know if Senator Uduaghan's lawyers are preparing, some documents. Because for you to say that she's an irresponsible woman, a mother of 6 for 6 different women and all sorts, live on television, and you were actually breaking the microphone down. As a professional, I know that his decibel was rather too high for an environment where you are just facing an interview, which you either sponsored yourself or you were sponsored to come and defend someone who is enmeshed in an allegation of this nature. Ben, it's actually a big drama.
Indeed. That it's almost difficult to put a tab on the happenings. But in all of this, I remember my position last week that did not sit down well with certain persons. What led to this was the seating arrangements in the Senate. And the truth remains that it wasn't only Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's seat that was moved. Other senators, including Senator Akobundu, who represents Abia Central, he was also asked to move because there were defections from other parties to the ruling parties. As a result, the senators who left the opposition parties for the ruling parties were incorporated in the parts of the red chambers where the senators who belong to the ruling party sit. That was how this whole thing started. Senator Natasha felt to know that this is another incident or another ploy by the Senate president to silence her, push her away from the views of her colleagues and the TV and what have you. And while we were still trying to grasp or understand what was playing out between Senator Natasha and Godswill Akpabio, the next thing was for her to grant an interview during which she spilled the allegation that is trending now, sexual allegation or sexual harassment against her person. And I did ask last week, going on TV, making that allegation at that time, was it the best? And I also remember questioning the people who advised her. As far as the law of the Senate was concerned, as of last week, there was no sexual harassment allegation before the Senate. So it was just hearsay. And I remember one of the senators saying it was nothing but content creation. Until you table something, put it in black and white on paper and submit, then it becomes a working document. And I'm glad that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has been bold enough to do that yesterday. She has been courageous enough to do that yesterday, and I must commend her for being bold. Now, let's take a look at the drama that played out during the submission. It is obvious that some male senators do not even want to entertain her allegation, which in itself is bad. The right thing to do is villages. Senator Godswill Akpabio, and we know how things work in Nigeria. Nigerians most time owe their loyalty to the man who appointed them, not to the institution, in this case the Senate. So for me, based on his utterances, I would advise he steps aside, let another person take charge. Look at the excuses he gave yesterday, that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan failed to follow procedure. That is understandable. Yeah, no, she signed.
No, by signing, sorry.
Exactly.
Shouldn't have been the one to
exactly.
sign, right? Yes.
That's when you present a petition in the Senate. As a senator, you weren't supposed to sign it yourself. Some other senators were supposed to do that on your behalf. But the question this morning is, Bonnie, which senator in the present red chambers will be bold enough to sign that petition and present it on behalf of Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan? It is obvious that her colleagues are not willing to help her out. The reason why the woman decided to do it herself. I think Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan should find a way to represent swept on the carpet like it's a minor thing. Then the other angle of that the matter is before the law courts. Come on, we are not children. On Tuesday, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan raised the ethics committee from investigating Senator Natasha. But guess what? The ethics committee did not see that order restraining them from investigating Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, but they were quick to tell us that the sexual harassment case is before a law court. As a result, we are not supposed to talk about it, which is a big lie.
Why were you disappointed that she did not come?
Exactly. It's a big lie, Bonnie. First off, the case, like the woman made it clear, the case before the law court is a case of cyberbullying and defamation against Akpabio's social media aide. It did not mention anything sexual harassment in it. So the senators are not really helping Akpabio's matter right now. They appear to have taken sides. If you take a look at even the senator who represents one of the zones in Ekiti, all of a sudden started telling us about Natasha's fallout with former minister Fayemi, former governor of Ekiti State. And as we speak this morning, the former minister and former governor has issued a statement. Please, you people should solve your problem. Do not drag me into it. So it's
well, my dear uncle, Christopher Igoche Ikwe. A lot of you know him as Bongo Ikwe. He wrote and sang a song, What's Wrong is Wrong and What is Right is Right. Yes, seats had been reallocated. Defections had taken place, and on the basis of that, there were reallocations as well. I think Natasha was just transferring some aggression because she mentioned the issue of her desire to investigate the issue of fraud at Ajaokuta Steel Company and all that, which the Senate President has been brushing aside. She also said she had even, she had to go and beg him in his office, that even the husband had to go to London to meet the Senate President as friends that they were. I believe they still are. So the details are many. Why did I say what's wrong is wrong and what is right, according to Bongo Ikwe? When seats had been allocated, whether it was transferred aggression, whether it was ignorance of the ethics of the Senate, and Natasha felt, aggrieved about it. By the time she was trying to raise Order 10, if the Senate President had not ruled her off and ordered the Sergeant at Arms to go drag her out, maybe it wouldn't have degenerated to this level. And that idea of not respecting the ethics would still have been taken to the Ethics and Privileges and
Public
Petitions Committee for disregarding the rules of the House. And it's because of, the need to have some sense of democracy that Order 10 was in place, so that the Senate President at any point in time cannot do and overdo, such that the senator on the floor can also have the privilege of saying, okay, I disagree with this and I'm citing Order 10, in which case it would have been referred to the Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions Committee. But the Senate President did not allow her, and I did say from the word go, without taking sides, that the body language, the looks, and the way the Senate President ordered the Senate at Arms, the Sergeant at Arms, to drag her out, to take her out, suggests that there was some heat, which some of us are too far from to feel. Whichever way it goes, the woman had to, on the basis of his refusal to acknowledge, her pointing out Order 10, stand there and said a whole lot. And after that, typical of a woman would want to say it all. She did promise, by the way, that we were going to hear more. And indeed, a day or two later, she actually regurgitated so much more, which is what we are looking at now in the main. As a matter of fact, her not recognizing rules and all that transpired on the D-Day, that one is now secondary.
Sure.
All right? The fact of the matter is that they should be diplomatic about it. There's no smoke without fire, and I'm not saying anything. All right? But I've lived in Abuja and I've lived in major cities of this country, and I know what our bourgeois do. I have not named anyone. All right? It's a matter of use females as tools, and I'm not saying anything. But we have to be careful in this, because there are very serious matters of legislation that should be taken care of.
Indeed.
And this one is dragging this nation back, whether we like it or not. The female senators in the House should also intervene by trying to find a way to ensure that there is some amicable settlement of this. All right? Like Itagiwa said, harass anyone. Like Imaswe said, harass anyone. Like Nwebonyi said, harass anyone.
Sit down. Please join us.
Yes, ma. At once. Breakfast is serious business. Handle it with the nutritious Golden Moon. Now with a great new look. Trust Golden Moon to help fuel your family to win every day. Golden Moon. Make every day golden.
Ma na-agbapụ ịgba n'ụgbọala ma ọ bụ na-agba egwu na agbamakwụkwọ ezigbo ọyị gị ma ọ bụ naanị gị na ndị enyi gị na-akpọrị ndụ Udeniga Dry ga-eme gị mma. Enwere ya ugbu a na obere mkpọ 25mm maka ọmarịcha ụmụ okorobịa na ụmụ agbọghọbịa ndị ma ihe a na-eme.
My kids love tasty snacks, but many snacks are not so good for them. That's why I love the new Milo Anna Snacks.
We love it, Mom.
Yes, it's a delicious snack with the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and crunchy Niger grown maize, containing calcium, iron, and fiber.
So, pack Milo and snacks in their lunchbox every day to help your kids refuel at break time and keep winning all day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to...
Among other alleged infractions, the Assembly cited the appointment and swearing in of Dagogo Iboroma as Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice without prior legislative confirmation. The lawmakers urged Fubara to comply with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution and other laws governing the state.
Well, the state government has reacted, saying it is yet to receive the resolution Tuesday. Neither the governor's office, the deputy governor, nor the office of the accountant general had received the document. However, the letter did not specify any individual by name as the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. The government further informed that it was yet to receive a certified true copy of the judgment and assured the public that once received, the governor would act accordingly without delay.
Well, I know that there are technicalities in law, and technicalities have been used to even rule on very sensitive matters before the law courts. Now, the court has said they should return as legislators. They have returned, haven't been ruled on or upon by the Supreme Court. Never seen a situation where the House forces, so to speak, the governor to nominate and submit to them. The fact now is this: if the governor should, as a matter of fact, nominate and send a letter with a list to them, from the way they are going, if they don't support what the governor has done, it would be seen that they had premeditation. They had thought about not, making it work ab initio. All right. So they should have been more diplomatic, apply some sense or wisdom in all of this. But I'm not seeing it happening.
Well, let me borrow the words of Professor Ise Sage, a legal luminary, by the way. He said, the Supreme Court's judgment. So it is Rivers people, money that is supposed to accrue to them will not get to them. I just wish these two individuals would understand the implication of what they are doing and let go. The mistake has been made on the part of Wike. He said it was a mistake. So learn and move on. You're a minister today, you're not worse off. You are not hungry and may never be hungry until you leave planet Earth. Same thing for Fubara. He practically did all the dirty work for Nyesom Wike. The reason why EFCC was looking for him as a former commissioner and accountant general of that state. So he won't be hungry as well. But there are hungry people in Rivers State who their actions are affecting. And I just hope that it will just end with hunger. It won't translate or degenerate to loss of lives and even loss of revenue. If you take a look at the 2025 budget, the federal government is projecting we would start exporting over 2 million barrels of oil per day. And with the crisis brewing in Rivers State, you think if it's not nipped in the bud, that will be possible? The answer is no. Even the Ogoni that the government is trying to make inroads, they are still putting all manner of obstacles there. So for me, these two individuals should start talking peace.
Well,
that's just the way to go.
I think you've said it. The fear now is, the angle, which is tribal, basically. And the fact that is gone beyond politics, is gone beyond government of Rivers. It is now more like an Ijo thing.
Exactly.
And those who are sympathetic to their cause. Yes, what's his name? Siminalai Fubara is not Ijo, by the way, is from Opobo. But I can assure you that the Ijo people see it as an infringement on the rights of others outside Ikwere and Upper Rivers. All right, that for the first time, governance in 1999, the first time is coming to another place, and this is what we are seeing from an Ikwere person. At least if you have to go with what Asari Dokubo has said, that it was from Ondoki to Ikwere and Ikwere, understand? Because if you mention Ikwere now, Onea is even a blood cousin to Amechi.
That's right.
The same compound. Then to Amechi, that's number 2. From there to Wike, who's also an Ikwere man, even though from Port Harcourt, city.
Obiakpo.
Thank you very much. All right. So what we are saying here is this: the fear is that it may go beyond Fubara and Wike. It may go beyond APC, PDP. It may go beyond Amewule and Fubara. It may snowball. It may degenerate. It may escalate into something more devastating. I listened critically to what Asari Dokubo said, that if they should try anything, what will follow it may not be contained. And I do not want to take his words with a pinch of salt. There are those who are not talking yet, but I want to believe they are not happy. And we know that it has gone beyond the borders of rivers to Bayelsa, to Delta, to Ondo.
It's an Ijaw thing.
It's an Ijaw thing. They have taken it on
IYC, INC yesterday.
Ijaw National Congress
and
is
Ijaw
talking.
Youth.
They are also talking. And I don't want to take what they are saying just as if they just a yarn. Umbano. The fact of the matter is that they should be careful. The President Tinubu, who called Wike and Fubara to a meeting at the beginning of this whole thing, where they even had to sign an agreement as undemocratic as it was, but for the purpose of peace, I want to believe, he has the duty of calling them again and be a statesman in this. And it is not about ego, I'm the president. In doing so, call other elders of the country, north, south, east, and west, and the middle of this country. Let's talk to these people. Let's look at rivers as the bargaining chip. That if anything goes south, it will be against the rivers people. And then warn both of them. You cannot be in office forever. You won't even be alive forever. That is just the fact of it. What are we talking about? And the fact again is, in all of this, there will be enemies made forever.
Sure.
Enemies that will become transgenerational, from one generation to the other. What are we looking at? Money, power, fame, influence? Honestly, I'm devastated as a person because I'm affected, whether you like it or not. Rivers is not just a state anymore. Rivers is like Lagos, it's like Abuja, it's like Kaduna, it's like Kano, where you have everybody coming to converge. Port Harcourt is like Aba, where you have everybody coming to converge to make a living from all walks of life and different backgrounds. And if anything sparks PAM in rivers, honestly, it will be terrible. And don't forget, the IYC and INC, I know that they have their foot soldiers, and you know what they can do, which I will not say on air. Please, somebody who knows and who should know should talk to these people. It's beyond the ego of one man or two men. That is it.
For the Rivers State House of Assembly, the truth is, until the case that Fubara instituted, I think it's before the Federal High Court now, until that case is decided, whatever resolution they are passing, Fubara would only choose the one he wants to implement and tell you that the resolutions you passed have not gotten to him, just like his secretary to the state government said. So it would amount to waste of time, waste of resources. These are energy, these are resources that could have been channeled into coming up with better policies for the people of River State. Well, we move on to
Ben, one of the first moves that I'm hearing from the grapevine, and I think it won't be too far from the truth, is that the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice is proceeding on vacation for 1 year. And his signature must work in all of this. So, you know what I'm saying? And he can be in his bedroom and he's on vacation.
Definitely.
Love you so.
Okay, to other issues this morning, away from the River State, we come to Abia, to be precise, where hotel proprietors in Aba are not happy with a high electricity tariff by Aba Power Limited. They said at an emergency meeting of the trustees and directors of Hotel Proprietors Association of Nigeria held at Ibiza Hotels, Aba, on February 25. The association resolved to issue the following communique: that in the interests of hospitality industry in Aba, They have been compelled to express their deep concern regarding the recent increase in electricity tariff. This hike has severely impacted their operations, threatening the very survival of their businesses. The hospitality industry is a significant contributor to the state GDP, providing employment opportunity and generating revenue. The current increase in electricity tariff by Aba Power Limited has made it challenging for operators to maintain competitiveness and sustain their operations. That publications revealed that Aba Electricity Limited increased their tariff well above the levels approved by NEC to them and other discos in Nigeria, thereby indirectly crippling their business as maximum users of electricity. That as good corporate citizens, they understand recent economic conditions of industries in Nigeria and are requesting that Aba Power Limited should implement the approved rate of increase by NERC with immediate effect, review and reverse the excessive tariff increase, and ensure that future tariff adjustments are fair and in line with NERC approval. They are also requesting a prompt response and resolution to this matter, as the continued application of this excessive tariff would have devastating consequences for the hotel industry. Well, this much was signed by His Royal Highness Eze Mbakwe, who is the Chairman, Board of Trustees, Hotel Proprietors Association, Chief Chidiebere Obasi, Chairman, Hotel Proprietors Association, Aba.
Well, this is as far as the hospitality industry is concerned. Ben, you have the media industry.
That's right.
And you know how devastating it has been on the media. Very, very, in fact, terrible is a mild word to use.
True.
Why I am very concerned is because those in the media, even if you are printing newspapers, you are not, your production capacity is not such that will just, burn up, so much energy. You are not producing machineries. You are not producing, is because it is commercial. For the fact that it is commercial, they just jack the rate up there. Whether it is commensurate with what you consume, it does not matter. And so that is the cry. I sat with friends just yesterday, and they said the coming of the vendor was supposed to be like an elixir, a relief, a breath of fresh air for business and the people. But that has not been. I want to believe also that the company in question now would also sit back, relax, and take another look at the tariff. Is it like what it is in other parts of the country? I come from a place where I visit all the time because my family is there, and they are central, and of course, they are part of Abia Central, no doubt. But from Umuahia up, is that what they pay? If you go to Lagos, is that what Ikeja Distribution is checking, or Benin Electricity Distribution? There should be some peer review of a sort. We know that this is more of a solely private concern, but it is crippling business.
Indeed.
And I say it all the time. Where I live, even as a human being, we don't have light, and we pay, and nothing is being done about it. People sleep outside. I do sleep outside. Those who do petty business with electricity, they have all been crippled. And on top of it, the bill. There's an old woman next to my street. I buy plantain, banana, gari from her most of the time. And guess what? Just yesterday, she got a bill of 29,000 naira for a 3-room bungalow. Not a flat, too. The regular, our papa house, where in those days, 1 to 3 rooms. Then there is a shop in front. There's a barber, there's a woman who doesn't even have a fridge, and all that. And the woman was lamenting, 29,000, where you go get them from? Even one person where they rent the house, the rent he pays in a year is not far more than the 29,000. So they have to take another look at it. It's like a plea, what these hotel operators are talking about. They are making a plea. Other sectors have also been talking. All right? And it's no longer a joke. What? You only pay a bill you can afford.
True.
Where people don't have money, when it is too much. For instance, you pay so much for electricity, you pay so much for petrol, for gas, for transportation, for rent, for school fees, name it. Where are you making the money from? And I think this is what should be looked at in the first place.
Well, for me, there is need for Aba Power Limited to take a look once again at the billing system. All your customers cannot be wrong. It is obvious that majority of your customers are just not comfortable with the current tariff, and that's because it's on the high side. If you take a look at, I know of a company, let me not mention the company name. The company spends 250,000 naira every 3 days on electricity. Aba, how much can such a company make in a month to pay workers, service, other logistics,
overheads,
and remain afloat, remain in business
and make profit?
Then you bring this back to the residents. Bonnie, I think one of the worst lines, I don't know what they call it, but as a layman, let me call it lines, within the Aba ring fence area is the Ovom 11 kVA. That's the one you're referring to. Just for the month of...
An average home in Nigeria, talking about the residences, the home is empty from morning until late evening.
True.
The children, they go to school. After school, remember, they do what they call lesson. The father and mother, they're out, looking for what the family will eat, and they return. And when you return, you don't put your lights on in every room. There are homes like in mine where you are in the parlor, I hope, or sitting room as you call it. Only the television illuminates the room. All other lights, even when you are home, are off. You will not put your lights on during the daytime, even if you are home. How much does fan consume? Because the majority of the people are actually not using air conditioners. How many people cook with electricity? And if you know it's going to make you pay so much, you regulate it. But now it is a question of you must pay whatever we bring. And I think this is what people are crying about. And that's why we're admonishing that they should now sit back and look at all these things. It's better for more people to be paying something reasonable than a few people paying something so high and you are not making quick returns.
There are people who...
Even if you have the 5,000 naira, are you home? Your wife is not home now, your children are not at home. As I speak to you, in your block of flats, I can assure you that maybe only one flat has somebody in the house.
I agree with you.
Everybody is out. So who is using the light? And then when you return in the night, what do you use the light for? If you fill your tank,
your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet comes with the nutrients they need every day. Made from natural grains, contains protein and fortified with iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
How far? This question now for you. Wouldn't they make you come up from bed for morning? Shina the sun with the rise? Abi na your alarm with the ring? No, not that dream. That drive, that unstoppable force with the inside you. And you sabi within the further drive, not to start your day strong with rich creamy taste of Nescafe 3-in-1 with the carefully crafted from selected coffee beans. So whatever your hustle be, make you go from maybe, or I know fit, to I fit, and I go do Nescafe 3-in-1. Start gidigba, finish gidigba.
Hello, Mandewo. Achọrọ m inye driver ahụ ego gị ka o wetere gị ya na village.
Enyela onwe gị enye ọtụtụ onyinye. Send ya na nọmba Airtel m.
Ọ dị mma. Mam dị sharp.
Ngwa Piasta 939 hash ma ọ bụ download ngwa Smart Cash ka imepe akaụntụ nke gị ka ị nwee ike yọrọ ya na Smart Cash. Ị ga-enwekwa ike ime transfer gaa na bank ọ bụla na Nigeria. Usoro na ọnọdụ dịkwa ya.
Hello, Obatala.
Smart Cash, Airtel kwadoro ya.
It's tough out there, but you need to keep on moving. Here at Total Energies, we've been innovating for over 70 years, to offer you Quartz engine oil that protects your car and SUV engines, improve performance, and increase fuel efficiency. There's a Quartz for every engine type, thermal, hybrid, and electric, bringing you outstanding efficiency and prolonged engine life, along with a reduction in polluting emissions with Quartz lubricants formulated to protect emission control systems. Save on maintenance with Quartz lubricants and keep your engines younger for longer. Experience Total Energies premium lubricants through the years.
You don't hear the latest? Hero Hunter don't boss everywhere. Ayo, what did happen? Why you dey run like this now? Hero Hunter promo don't land. Them call am tank full, pocket full. If you buy Hero Hunter bike now, them go dash you 15,000 naira fuel cash back. Sharp, no be joke. Just buy your bike, scan the QR code where them go give you, fill your details, and then go wire the fuel money enter your account after small verification.
Chai, Hero Hunter now, baba.
Go buy your Hero Hunter now before them finish am.
I dey go now.
People and Politics, providing the alternative voice within the democratic space.
All right, we're now in Abia, where the PDP, courtesy of their chairman, Elder Abraham Ama, is raising a whole lot of concern and expressing it, over the administration's ill-advised move, in their words, ill-advised move to reduce the tenure of duly elected local government chairmen from 4 years to 2 years through the Abia State House of Assembly. I've read on Facebook somewhere where it was actually addressed to the Speaker of the Abia State House of Assembly. This is more like an extract from there. According to the PDP, the attempt to alter the democratic process midstream is unconstitutional, undemocratic, and a direct affront to the rule of law. According to the party, it is quite frankly an abuse of power that seeks to erode the sanctity of our democratic institutions and disenfranchise the very people who voted the government officials into office under a clear 4-year mandate. According to the letter, which is also addressed to the governor, the chairman of the party says he must pose a direct question to the governor. How would you feel if the president of the Federal Republic initiated steps through the National Assembly to reduce the tenure of governors from 4 years to 2 years? Would you not consider it an unjust and destabilizing move? Would you not resist such a proposal as an attack on democracy? End of question. The question actually came from Elder Abraham Ama, the chairman of PDP. He goes on to say that governance should not be conducted in a manner that breeds chaos, resentment, and instability, rather than pushing for an unconstitutional action. According to Ama, we should implore you, that is the governor now, to focus on issues that genuinely impact the lives of the people of Abia State. Well, it is much larger than this, but we need to just paraphrase it.
Well, quickly, for the want of time, state governors, as expected, as predicted by some of us, have actually dashed the hope that some Nigerians had or expressed when the Supreme Court made that pronouncement sometime last year on local government financial autonomy. When people were celebrating, they failed to realize there was a difference between financial autonomy and administrative autonomy. But in all of this, the Supreme Court also said something about the tenureship of local government chairmen, that the elected executive chairmen were entitled to 4 years, and this was for them, or for their tenure to correspond with other elected government officials, the presidents, the governors, the lawmakers, and what have you. But some governors have taken it upon themselves to ensure that the local government would not breathe without them strangulating the local government chairman, putting them in a position where they will always be at the mercy of the governors. This is quite disappointing because for a person like Governor Alex Otti, who was a good governance advocate before he became the governor, most of the things he said about local government autonomy, he has backslided. He has not kept he has not kept to his words as far as local government administration is concerned. If the Supreme Court said these men are entitled to 4 years, let it be. You do not go to the State House of Assembly and try truncating what the Supreme Court said. But unfortunately, this is our reality, and this is what most state governors are doing.
Well, I didn't know that matters of this nature, particularly where the Supreme Court has ruled, we can as well say that like the Supreme Court, because democracy actually starts from the root, from the words.
That's right. It's expected of the opposition. Well, quickly before we go interactive, the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, yesterday said its security team recovered 2 rifles, live cartridges, machete, and other weapons hidden by unknown persons at a drug market, Bridgehead, in Onitsha, Anambra State. The agency, which has been at drug sections of Onitsha Bridgehead Market since February 10, said it has also identified and shifted not less than 50 trailers load of counterfeit and substandard drugs from the market as part of ongoing nationwide campaign to strengthen public health by pushing cartels and their fake products out of markets. NAFDAC DG Professor Mojishola Adeyeye, who disclosed this while addressing journalists, expressed surprise over the discovery, which she viewed as an assassination attempt on the agency's director in the Southeast Zone, Dr. Martin Iloyomade, who normally conducts briefing at that particular spot on a daily basis. Adeyeye, who was represented by Iloyomade, added that their security team foiled 2 attempts made by some hoodlums to gain entrance to the stores where they packed seized drugs at Onitsha, as well as arrested 2 suspects in connection to this.
Well, what this does to me is to rewind my head to the days of late Professor Dora Akunyili, when attempts were made on her life and only God saved her. And I recall that with hindsight, one would begin to say that even what happened to her husband much later may not be too far from that, just by way of thinking anyway. All right. Moji Adeyeye, even 2 weeks ago, alleged that attempts were being made on her life, not even to talk about our officials like Alebiosu, which we have just mentioned, haven't been, as the head of the agency in the Southeast. Of course, you can't have people who do stuff like that and not aiming to even take life physically, because they are taking it through the drugs already. So they would want to take it physically if the need arose, and this is what we're saying. You can imagine NAFDAC, carting away as many as 50 trailers, trailer loads of fake drugs, and then on the heels of that, attempts being made to actually break into the place. That is how terrible, how dastardly it is. But I hope NAFDAC will not rest on its oars. It goes beyond that. And I think the time has come again for the federal government to beef up, a searchlight on the activities of NAFDAC, fund them, give them enough power to do the job they are doing, protect them, so that they can actually do it, because the lives of Nigerians, honestly, are going down. We see young people now suffering from ailments that were before now referred to as old age related ailments, and this may not be unconnected with the fact that we are taking terrible things. But while we're talking about drugs as well, let's also look at other consumables. We hear that they are using all manner of things now to ferment cassava for akpu.
That's right.
Cassava that should have gone through a process of fermentation before frying, people now harvest, grind without fermentation, they now fry and sell. The young men that bring carrot and stuff from the north, we've seen them applying insecticide. We've seen them washing these things in gutter, and all that stuff. So NAFDAC should, while dealing with drugs, their duty is on Foods, Drugs Administration and Control. So it goes beyond that. And if they have to focus on one, if they need to ask for more personnel, they should do that so that they have their units well equipped to deal with these matters. Because when we talk about people dying as a result of what they ingest into their bodies, it may not just be drugs, but even food.
True.
Can you imagine that somebody will use a paracetamol, we're told now, to make a meat, soft and cook quickly? And many others. People are just designing several ways. People are now making palm wine, but not from the palm tree.
Use chemicals to ripen fruits.
You understand?
It's crazy.
They use carbide to ripen banana. They should, beam their searchlight on all these nefarious activities beyond drugs and fake products. Foods as well. They are also, suffering from this malaise.
Let's hear from you. 0907 677 1029, 0916 988 1029, or 0809 666 1029. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
My name is Peter. I call from Ikote Binido, Abia State.
Go ahead, Peter.
Okay, I want to react on issue, the last one, about the NAFDAC. And I supported what Bonnie said. NAFDAC should, even to go every market, even the supermarket and the stores, to check about the fake products and food. And, because the rent this is going is very, very bad. They are trying. They do not be like the end of the year movement or seasonal movement, because these people are ready to strike and they loaded with money. Drug people are loaded with money. They are finding way to to do their business. Even in the point of death, they are finding way. So the NAFDAC, federal government, even state government encourage them, supported them massively, so that we can help ourselves. And the issue of PDP chairman at the state showing about the writing to the state government or local government authority that the elected local government should stay 4 years. I say that that is the problem we have in this country. That is the main problem we have. Our National Assembly, who's supposed to amend some laws, this is chasing rat and cockroaches, because some of them are aiming governor in future. Because the only way I'm just I don't know what the governor see in the hand of the local government. That is why all of them want to travel the local government freedom. The money is meant for the local government. So the National Assembly should do something. But they are obviously they are not going that side at all, because some of them, 80% of them are aiming to be a governor of future. So they don't want to, as I said,
his true backdoor. And all this while his name has not been ringing well in the Senate. There's nothing they will do over this matter. Remember, some time ago, I think that was last year, a woman defended her husband of not having an affair with a lady, a pastor for that matter. And the woman said, if my husband was involved in this case, let me die with this pregnancy. And the woman died because of not knowing that the husband was doing something for her. So, for you to defend what you don't know about, why said the government have also defended him? Well, let's see how the matter will go. But why didn't this woman appear during the investigation, what do you call it, that was set up to investigate the matter? He did not appear. Why? That is on that side. On Fumara issue, thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, the answer to your question, we did mention that there was a court order restraining the Ethics Committee from investigating Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Probably why she said, if there was an order, why should I appear? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Ben.
Thank you for joining us. Your name and location?
Oh, I don't know. It's like you're not, I'm not hearing you, but I hope.
Hello? Oh, he's gone. All right, do well to call back. We apologize. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Ben, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I know that I can't hear you people, but I know you are hearing me. My name is Comrade I'm calling from Aba. Good morning.
Go ahead, comrade.
Yeah, please, let me just use this a little opportunity to thank you and Big Bonnie. I think people have trying to open up some certain things about what NAB. But when the end of the day, watch and see, all of those people that NABDA have captured, the end of the day, we see they fall back to the system because we don't have a functionally institution that is working. So please, I think it's hard time for us to start checkmating our laws and make sure the end of the day, whoever that you find for a particular duty should prosecute it and jail once and for all. Thank you. Have a great morning.
All right, you too. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Get back to whoever. So that's what I'm to say, Well, let's give other people a chance to talk.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you're not far from the truth. We've seen people who, out of anger, say all manner of things, make all manner of allegations. The reason why this should be investigated and not swept under the rug. So whoever that is found wanting should be penalized. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
I am Promise you, Gender. I know you are hearing me, but I'm not hearing you.
Loud and clear, Promise. Go ahead.
I'm calling from Asamohi, Bunaburuka government.
Go ahead, Promise.
I want to highlight something on the issue of Rivers State and their Supreme Court judgment. They say an injury to one is injury to all. Anybody in Rivers State who is rejoicing because of that judgment is not doing well because it will affect everybody in Rivers State. If Ubara should never give up. Let him act as a domitable human being, somebody who never accept defeat easily and move ahead. Remain blessed.
All right, thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Your name and location.
Good morning, Bonnie.
Yes, go ahead. He can hear you.
I can hear you.
All right.
I believe you can hear me.
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
My name is Chooks from Abba.
Go ahead, Chooks.
I'm talking about this APL stuff. That is one of the disadvantages of having maybe a monopolized market. Seriously, because if they have competition, just like it happened in telecommunication, it would have been better for people to switch to another choice. Because as it is now, solar is not the best, or solar is not a solution or an option. For we, the poor masses, it cannot do all the things that the energy is not that strong like that of the APL, So, well, being as it may, they're supposed to give license to.
Not making sense. You may want to type that back. Our Okorie David. Natasha was very quick to make a submission without a thorough research on the Senate rule book. I want to advise her to resubmit her petition afresh and not siding it so that we would see if it could be thrown away. The senators should be just and fair to draw a line between the issues presented in court and the issues she is raising on the floor of the Senate. Optimistic St. Jude. It is this same Alex Oti that campaigned and posed like a saint to all of us, or should we be waiting for the original details to the CBN for direct funding, not Jack? Supreme Court ruling should supersede any law made in any state assembly. Kingsley Uchechukwu Brown. Is Governor Sim Fubara going to survive these deadly plots from Wike and his lieutenants? Is the judiciary not setting itself up for disobedience of court's judgments and the rule of law? With the way the judiciary is being used against fair judgment in this country, I hope the system of governance that looks like democracy would not be destroyed. Why do you call Victor? Present us well, but some of them went there for their personal interests. Akwabi and Natasha should allow Nigerians to rest. Ara Oka. Akpabio should step down for proper investigation in his case. You cannot be a judge in your own case. Mazi Akokebu Chinedum. Aba Power is in fact people in Okigwe Road got 90,000 naira a flat. Abai got about 95,000 naira a flat, and so on. In fact, a basic Aba flat pays 20,000 naira on electricity bill a month, and their prepaid meter now is Okuneriego. Please, I guess even the EFCC should enter this case, because it is an economic sabotage. We are dying in Aba. By Oko Jumbo and 1,000 naira. For this month, they increased it to 53,000 naira. This is just telling us that we are on our own, because the government cannot just and inhumane for Aba Power to burden Aba residents with exorbitant electricity bills to repay these loans.
I am Bonnie Onobu. Thanks for listening.
Ịgbapụ ịgbanye ụgbọala maọbụ na-agba egwu na agbamakwụkwọ ezigbo ọyị gị maọbụ naanị gị na ndị enyi gị na-akpọrị ndụ udenivie